This week's podcast, you're on the road, Mike, because your middle daughter or second daughter, I guess, because you only have two daughters.
Second daughter, yeah. There's four of them, Kristen, but the younger daughter, right?
She is
my youngest daughter.
Competing in basically a flipper competition or something.
Flipper,
like a dolphin swimming around.
Dolphins, yeah. She trains dolphins, and they're competing now. Everybody brought their dolphin to Des Moines, Iowa, and now they're going to throw them in a pool. So she swims, and she's very competitive with it. And so Junior Olympics,
big deal,
is a big deal. And so here I am
in a hotel room,
podcast in a hotel room from Des Moines, Iowa. I got a wristband and all to prove it. Looky there.
Look at ya.
Go see people swim. Says Des Moines on it. I don't know if you can see that, but so
going well so far.
And it's like 100, and it's like 100 and something.
Yeah,
it's not cold.
Iowa's a popular state right now with politics. You just stay in that swim arena, okay? Just to stay there.
Yeah, apparently it's been interesting so far. So Lynyrd Skynyrd was in the lobby.
I'm sorry.
The other day, yeah, and apparently they had an event here, and I guess I missed DeSantis by like 12 hours or something. He swung through, so yeah.
Don't worry, there's 75 other people running that'll run through any second.
Any minute. They're probably around here somewhere. I just haven't seen them.
Politicians often don't feel very helpful in our day-to-day lives. I think we can both agree on that. That's a right or a left situation. It's politics. And there's so much red tape and things that you get wrapped up in and can't avoid. But our financial lives, we don't want that to happen. And that's why we seek a financial advisor. And you're a fee-only fiduciary yourself, the founder of Talon Wealth, and so many advisors on our team that help people. But other than investment questions, I know that clients reach out to our team for a lot of other things they're uncertain about when it comes to financial matters in their lives. And that's why our team is here to help with that. So those going into retirement, I mean, let's think about it. They've never done this before. It's kind of that fear of the unknown. And they need a little help with navigation. Mike, you've got so much experience in that navigation area along with the rest of the team. This life change of retirement, people obviously want to grow and protect their money, but what are some of the other money questions, not money, maybe just common questions that you've helped clients answer over the years that they're worried about besides protecting and growing their money?
Yeah, I think that, so, and like you said, Christian, so I'm in, almost 25 years now doing this, and that's a lot of conversations. That's a lot of individuals that are either retired or very close to it, and their needs aren't all the same, but they are similar.
Right.
So typically somebody making this transition to retirement, certainly they want to make as much as they can on their money, but they're becoming more risk averse. So they're less willing to take big chances when it comes to their money. So how can I make the most possible with the least amount of risk? That would be fairly common. But to your point, that's just the management of their portfolio is just one component of what somebody's concern is going to be. This transition is a big deal. You're basically going from employment to unemployment. We call it retirement, but it's unemployment.
And that sounds really scary if you think that out.
It sounds scary when you talk about it. That if you put it in those words, it doesn't sound so great. So retirement is you make this transition from getting a paycheck. In large part, for most people, their health care is taken care of. For most people, you've spent 20, 30, maybe 40 years just basically waking up every morning with a routine, and it's rinse and repeat. I have to wake up at this time. I have my cup of coffee, put my pants on one leg at a time,
just like everybody else.
Just like everybody else. I go to work and then I come home and it's a routine, Monday to Friday. And then suddenly it changes. The paycheck goes away. The health insurance goes away. Where's my money going to come from now? So one of the first questions that we get when it comes to people transitioning into retirement is, well, hey, listen, once you get past, have I saved enough, right? Because the financial planning component of it will get us beyond that.
Right.
And so once we get to the point where, all right, you've saved enough, and yes, we can make enough on your portfolio so that adjusted for inflation and taxes, you can maintain your current standard of living, right, for the rest of your life. So that's what you want to know at first.
Of course.
But then it's the mechanics of, well, how does it work? How does the money actually get from my retirement accounts into my checking account?
Basically, how do I pay myself?
How do I pay myself? I'm very aware that that's very simple to me, because that's what we do for a living, and I've done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, is explain to people how do we get the money from here to there. But it's a legitimate question. So the answer to that is we set up a link between your retirement accounts and your bank account.
Okay.
And you get a direct deposit, however often you want. But usually we try to simulate the same
like
type
paycheck
of relationship
routine?
you're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
on a monthly basis, right? Client gets to pick the day they want it. Do you want it at the beginning of the month? Do you want it at the middle of the month? Do you want it at the end of the month? The next question then is, so as I'm pulling money out of the accounts I've set up for retirement, what about taxes? Right. So that's the next thing.
Dude, I'm gonna pause you there. A lot of people I know call in to our radio show we do coast to coast each weekend asking about that. And especially with all the politics, that's got to be a hot topic question.
It sure is. And somebody might ask a question like, what about taxes? Are they going to be more or less in the future? That's an opinion type of a thing.
True.
You can't really answer that.
You can walk out in Iowa and talk to some of those candidates about that.
You can find out. Yeah, see what they're going to do about it. But even,
what they say they're going to do about it.
What they say they're going to do about it, and then whatever they say they're going to do about it, they're only working on it for 4 years, right? Sometimes 8, right? So, but the reality is you're going to pay taxes. So how do those taxes get paid? So that's something else.
Do I have to know how to do that is a big concern.
Well, and so an investment advisor, so for example, for our clients, they don't have to figure it out. We just figure it out for them, right? So we do the math on how much they need to withhold from we call them distributions, right? Somebody might just call it, payment, but it's a distribution from your investments.
Right.
How much we calculate how much to withhold for tax. Uncle Sam's gets their portion, and then the client would get the amount that, the after-tax amount on a monthly basis. And that amount, then, well, how does that relate to, the next question would be, well, how does that relate to my Social Security, or how does that relate to my pension, or how does that relate
you're in their head, the client's
the income that's coming from, I've got this rental property, just all of these things. So, it's not common sense stuff necessarily, right? It's something that people, not everyone, but most people haven't had to do for themselves, because there was always an employer that took care of all of that. Like I said, where does the money come from? What about the taxes? What about withholding?
Yeah, HR
what day
handled
of the month
it.
does it show up on? All of that. And so we're able to do that. And an investment advisor is able to do that for their clients. And then a financial advisor, right? Another component to this would be, what about health insurance? Because you're losing that as well. So
and that's a huge concern. A lot of people pick their retirement date based on that sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll adjust the retirement date. And that strategy you're mentioning, Kristen, would just be making sure you're 65 so you can get Medicare, right? And then, there's Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage. And it's just, again, that's also confusing. So, yes, we manage portfolios for our clients for a living, but at the same time, they're still worried about taxes, right? So we're helping with that. They're still worried about, like I said, where's the money going to come from? Which account do I pull from first? Which account do I pull from last? Do I pull a little bit out of each account? How should that work? So that's just income planning is another component. Helping people with health insurance. So not all firms do, but we do. So I don't like the idea of one of our clients having to go shop health insurance when they retire. Certainly don't mind if they do it, but you might wind up, look at how many companies are selling health insurance.
Yeah, when that open enrollment happens, it is just, they're coming
crazy.
at you like crazy.
Yeah, and you're, not all of our viewers are going to be familiar with open enrollment, but that's something that, to do with Medicare and Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans. And so that's potentially a nightmare. Which plan do I pick? Which one's best for me? And that's going to be a little bit different. So again, not all firms do, but we've chosen to have employees, right? So staff members that are licensed to provide health insurance products to clients, so that they don't have to shop it around, right? We can take a look at all the companies that are offering it, show them what all the plans are, and
So again,
which
looking
is
at all the options. Love
all
that.
the options, right? And so the more that we can take off the table, and all of these things that are going to be very, very concerning. I think just over the years, Kristen, we've gotten pretty good at answering the questions, because it would be very uncommon at this point. Not that it can't happen, but it would be very uncommon for somebody to ask me a question I haven't already heard. But that's because I've been doing this for so long, and I've had thousands and thousands of conversations. And what we're always looking to do is sort of pretty much know the question somebody might ask. So usually when I'm talking to somebody, it's kind of interesting, Kristen. This happens probably at least a couple of times a week. Like, somebody comes in with questions, and they'll come visit, or we're doing a Zoom meeting or a phone call, and usually in that phone call or Zoom meeting or at the office, I'm going to introduce our company to that person. But in my introduction, I'm doing a lot of explaining about what we do, and I see them with that list of questions in front of them, and I've hit almost every single one of them by the time I got that.
That's
explained.
good.
They're like, well, I had this question, this question, this question, and then they're sitting there going, well, you answered all the questions. I didn't even tell you what they were, kind of thing. But that's because we've been doing this for so long.
Mm-hmm. And it's also because technology happens, and here we are, Mike working on joining us back on the video podcast here. But yeah, with all those questions, and you need guidance on figuring that out. I don't know, maybe one of the GOP candidates or wannabe candidates took over the live stream. We don't really know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still here. But,
You're here. We'll go ahead and wrap it up by saying, the good news is that it's not just about making sure that people don't run out of money. Mike, you are here along with the rest of the team at Talon to make sure all the financial questions, including taxes and retirement, should I be out of debt or not, healthcare decisions, you guys help people on that path as well.
Thank you for watching. Go to guardingyournestegg.com for your free and objective personal financial plan.